Guys, it's Will from the Access Panel Company. We're back on site again with our new Loft hatch here. We've taken down the packaging and I just want to take a quick moment to talk you through the panel. As you can see, we've opted for the metal-faced panel instead of a plasterboard face, as this can be painted over later on site. All we're going to do to key it up is just run it over with a bit of sandpaper, and it'll really allow the paint to key into the face of the panel. We've opted for the beaded frame option, so when the plaster comes along, it'll blend the frame in nicely, and you won't be able to see anything at all. And to go along with this, we've got the slit option here on the lock, which is then operating just the budget lock on the back. As you can see here from the back, the insulation makes up the majority of the panel. This gives it a U value of 0.35. We've then got a tight seal onto the draft strip that runs around the outside of the frame onto the back of the door here. Air and heat loss is the biggest factor that this panel is looking to eliminate, as it is not a fire-rated option, although the face of the panel will give it that option. We're not using it in a fire-rated application here. So the first thing we're going to do is measure the hole to make sure that we've got the right size panel. I'm going to measure the timber to timber size, and we're going to take the smallest size from that. So we've got 575, 576, and then 575 again. So we'll take 10 mil off that, it'll be 565. Next we're going to do the length. We've got 790, again, 792, 790. So we'll take the smallest length off that, which was 790, take 10 mil off, and the panel will be 780 long. So again, we've measured this, so we've got 5 mil tolerance all the way around, which this has. So first we're just going to check the operation of the panel. We're using the T key here provided. We're just going to check the lock operates correctly before install, which it does. The hinge on this panel is operated on a pin hinge, so it's pivoting around one single point at the back here, and this is nut and bolted in just to prevent it from falling out of the ceiling at any point. So we've checked the size of the hole and measured the back of the panel to make sure they're right, but we're just going to offer it up as well to make sure there's nothing else impeding the fitting of the panel. So I've just got the hinges on this side. I'm just going to offer in the lock side first, push it up. As I hold that in, we're looking for the bead to sit flush with the ceiling all the way around. As I work my way around the panel, I can see here, I've got a gap where I can get my finger in. So having just offered that in, we can see from the plasterboard, it is being knocked out by the pin hinge that's sticking out. Now we measured a 5 mil tolerance all the way around this, but it looks like this aperture is slightly off square. So if this had been perfectly plumb, that 5 mil would have been enough tolerance for this to slide in. We've got a bit of an overhang on this side, and then none on this side. So it's just let the hinge hit it slightly. So we're just going to cut that out now and make sure it fits together. You can see the dent here from the pin as it's hit the plasterboard. So that's my guide where to notch out to allow the panel to sit flush. So to fix the panel in, we're using a 50 mil drywall screw. We're using this as a non-fire application, so we wouldn't naturally have to use these, but for fire rating, it has to be a 50 mil long screw. As you can see here from the profile, the 50 mil long screw provides a really good purchase into that timber and makes sure the fixing is really secure, holding the panel up. Having notched it out, we're just going to offer the panel back in to make sure that we've done enough to allow the panel to sit flush to the ceiling. As you can see there, that's nice and flat all the way around, which means when the plaster comes along, we'll be able to get a good skim all the way along the bead. We will be fitting the panel in the frame, as this allows us to maintain the 3 mil gap that's all the way down the side of the panel. As you can see, I am struggling to hold this, and I won't be able to fix it at the same time as well. So I've just got Jimmy here to give me a hand, as I put the first couple through. So as he takes the weight, I'll be able to just put a screw in each corner, which will allow us to hold the panel in place. So now that I've got some fixings in each corner and the weight's being held, I'm just going to test the operation of the panel to make sure that we're not binding against the frame anywhere in particular and the lock still operates correctly. As you can see there, that's a really nice smooth action. It's not rubbing anywhere on the frame and it locks nicely. What we're going to do now is for a panel this size, if it was fire rated, I'd be doing drywall screws every 200 centimetres. This one isn't a fire rated one, so I'm just going to go as required. I'll probably put 4 down this edge and another 4 down this side. So knowing plasterers, I might actually put a few more screws down this side just to keep them happy. So now we've fixed all the screws around the beading, we're just going to open the panel up and look at the fixings that will be required on the inside. So as you can see, the panel comes with pre-punched fixing holes here down the side of each frame. On a fire rating application, all of these fixing holes have to be filled in, and then we would have to talk about the gap between the back of the frame and the structural stud. Any gap between 0 and 5 mil will just require a packer and some intermescent mastic around the top of the frame. Anything over 5 mil would require rock walls similar to the insulation that's being used to be stuffed into the gap and then fixed and masticed after that. On this frame here, we've got 5 mil down one side and it's pretty tight all the way around. So I'm just going to go around and fix as required, just for security to hold the panel in. We can put a couple more fixing screws all the way around and then we're good to go.